Welcome to our exploration of the 4 elements in dreams. I'm Victoria Amador from soulhealingtribe.com, and today we'll dive into how earth, air, fire, and water appear in our dreamscape and what they might be telling us. Dreams speak in the language of symbols, and the 4 elemental forces represent some of our most profound psychological patterns. When these primordial energies appear in your dreams, they're often carrying important messages from your unconscious. Earth elements like mountains, caves, and forests connect us to our foundations, physical realities, and sense of stability. Air manifestations such as winds, storms, and flight reveal our intellectual processes and intuitive insights. Fire symbols, from gentle candles to raging volcanoes, illuminate our passions, transformations, and creative drives. Water imagery, whether peaceful pools or turbulent oceans, reflects our emotional landscape and deeper unconscious currents. In the next few minutes, we'll explore how recognizing these elemental symbols can unlock hidden meanings in your dreams and provide valuable insights for your waking life. Understanding this ancient symbolic language can transform how you interpret your nighttime journeys. Let's begin our journey through the elements that shape our dream world. Let's start with water. Water, ocean, the maternal source of all life, represents the collective unconscious and deep emotions, symbolizes both creative potential and destructive power. Calm oceans suggest emotional stability, while stormy seas may indicate overwhelming feelings or unresolved trauma. Swimming in deep ocean waters often connects to exploring hidden aspects of the psyche. River, channel, or focus of emotional energy in the larger social environment. Upstream represents sources or the future. Downstream symbolizes outlets or the past. Rivers can reflect life's journey, with rapids signifying challenges and calm stretches representing periods of emotional stability. The width and depth of rivers may indicate the scope of emotional experiences. Stream, channel, or focus of emotional energy in the personal environment. More intimate than rivers, streams in dreams often connect to personal emotional flow and everyday feelings. Clear streams suggest emotional clarity, while muddy or blocked streams may indicate confused feelings or emotional suppression. Ponds, pools, reflection of self on a personal level. Still waters represent contemplation and self-examination. The clarity of the water often mirrors how clearly we see ourselves. Diving into pools can symbolize willingness to explore emotions, while avoiding them may suggest emotional avoidance. Swamps are places where one is emotionally stuck or mired. Creatures emerging represent unrecognized or feared aspects of self. Swamps can symbolize confusion, stagnation, or emotional complexity. Finding paths through swamps may represent working through difficult emotional situations. Wells can signify emotional entrapment or, depending upon the condition and usage of the well, emotional nourishment, such as drawing cool, clear water. Wells connect to emotional reserves and inner resources. Dry wells might indicate emotional depletion, while overflowing wells can symbolize emotional abundance. Crossing bodies of water represents transitional phases and, as such, are always very important. Water crossings symbolize emotional transitions or life changes. The method of crossing, whether it's a bridge, boat, or swimming, and the difficulty experienced often reflect how we navigate emotional changes in waking life. Rain signifies emotional release, cleansing, or renewal. Light rain can suggest gentle emotional healing, while storms may represent emotional turbulence or catharsis. Being caught in rain without shelter might indicate feeling emotionally exposed. Tears are a direct manifestation of emotional release. They can represent grief, joy, or emotional purification. The context and feeling tone of crying in dreams is important to interpretation. Ice and snow can indicate frozen emotions or emotional coldness. They may suggest emotional numbness, repression, or a period of emotional dormancy. Thawing ice can symbolize emotional awakening. Earth elements often act as sensory physical indicators. Mountains, hills, inclined steps, and ladders represent the masculine or paternal world and our relationship to authority and rivalry issues. The height of the incline indicates the level of aspiration, while one's willingness to climb indicates motivation. The view from the top of an incline shows what one is preoccupied with. A panorama versus a myopic view indicates openness versus narrow-mindedness. Different types of climbs may represent different life challenges. For example, a steep rocky path might suggest difficult personal growth, while a gentle slope could indicate gradual progress. Walls, blockades, and physical obstructions are defensive structures in the psyche. The material of walls, whether stone, wood, or glass, can indicate the nature of psychological barriers. Crumbling walls may suggest defenses breaking down, while impenetrable barriers often relate to stubborn resistance or protection from perceived threats. Caves represent unconscious needs and desires, the creative unconscious, and an encounter with the world of the earthy interior on a personal fantasy level. Figures within the cave represent unrecognized thought or behavioral patterns, deeply repressed wishes, and unconsciously initiated actions. The depth and darkness of caves often correlate to how deeply buried these aspects are in the psyche. Finding treasures in caves may represent discovering valuable aspects of self. Tunnels symbolize a transition phase. The size of the entrance or exit represents constriction or expansiveness. Light or darkness within tunnels indicates clarity or confusion about the transitional process. The length of tunnels may correspond to the duration of life transitions, while the condition, whether stable or collapsing, can suggest how secure one feels during change. A pit often symbolizes cognitive or behavioral imprisonment. The depth of the pit often correlates to the severity of the psychological trap. The ability to climb out or find help relates to resources for overcoming limitations. What exists at the bottom of pits may represent feared consequences or rock-bottom realizations. Forests connect us to primal instincts and natural wisdom. Dense forests often relate to confusion or complexity in life, while clearings represent moments of clarity. And the types of trees and creatures encountered reflect different aspects of the natural self. Valleys are places of fertility, nurturance, and sometimes protection. Valleys between mountains can represent balance between opposing forces or respite between challenges. Earthquakes signify fundamental shifts in one's psychological foundation. The severity of the quake often corresponds to how disruptive the change feels. Buildings that withstand quakes may represent resilient aspects of self. Soil and dirt connect us to roots, ancestry, and our fundamental nature. The quality of soil, whether fertile, barren, or poisoned, often reflects one's relationship with basic needs and foundations. Digging in earth can symbolize excavating hidden aspects of self or past experiences. Crystals, gems, and minerals represent concentrated aspects of self or valuable internal resources. Different stones carry different symbolic meanings, such as diamonds for clarity and resilience, and emeralds for growth and healing. Finding such treasures often represents discovering personal strengths. Air in dreams often serves as an intuitive and mental indicator. When you encounter a tornado, it signifies an intuitive sense of sudden or unexpected disorganizing change. This change is often a vortex of destructive energy, uncontrolled and random in its action. As the path of the tornado might reveal which areas of your life will be affected. Seeking shelter from tornadoes usually reflects your coping mechanisms, while being lifted by one can symbolize being swept up in chaotic circumstances beyond your control. Multiple tornadoes may indicate several simultaneous disruptions or choices. A hurricane, on the other hand, represents an expected, somewhat predictable vortex of destructive energy or disorganizing change. This has the potential to affect a larger portion of yourself, beyond just the identified ego self, and may have consequences for others as well. The eye of the hurricane might represent a deceptive calm or temporary clarity amidst greater turmoil. Preparing for hurricanes in dreams often correlates to psychological preparation for anticipated life changes. When it comes to breezes, gentle and warm ones versus strong, hot or cold ones indicate an intuitive knowing of upcoming changes, whether favorable or unfavorable. The direction of the breeze may tell you where the change is coming from. Breezes carrying scents or sounds often contain additional intuitive messages about the nature of the coming changes. Lastly, wind symbolizes the invisible force of thought or spirit. The direction of the wind can indicate the source of mental influence. Winds that change direction may symbolize indecision or shifting perspectives. Winds that lift objects or the dreamer can represent elevating thoughts or spiritual uplift. Clouds often symbolize thoughts, moods, or mental states. Dark storm clouds, for instance, can represent worrisome thoughts or approaching emotional storms, while white fluffy clouds may indicate peaceful, pleasant thoughts. The shapes of clouds might even contain symbolic messages from the unconscious. The sky represents the realm of possibilities, aspirations, and higher consciousness. Clear skies suggest mental clarity and optimism, whereas overcast skies indicate confusion or pessimism. The color of the sky often reflects emotional tone, blue for serenity, red for passion or danger, and so on. Birds are often seen as thoughts, ideas, or messages moving through consciousness. Different species carry different meanings. Eagles for perspective and insight, doves for peace, and ravens for transformation. Birds in flight often represent freedom of thought, while caged birds may indicate restricted thinking. Balloons, airships, or aircraft symbolize the vehicle of thought or imagination. How controlled the flight is reflects mastery over one's thinking process. Crashing aircraft may symbolize failed ideas or mental constructs, while smooth flights suggest well-navigated thought processes. Breath or breathing is seen as the life force and connection between body and spirit. Difficulty breathing often represents anxiety or restriction in self-expression. Deep, calm breathing may indicate centeredness and well-being. Fog or mist often signifies mental confusion or obscured perception. The density of fog often correlates to the degree of confusion. Finding paths through fog may represent navigating uncertainty with intuition rather than clear sight. Fire can be an indicator of intellectual and mental states. A volcano, for example, represents accumulated aggressive energies and eruptive processes. An eruption of this energy is uncontrolled and destructive in a random manner. Dormant volcanoes may represent suppressed anger or passion, while active ones suggest imminent emotional release. The aftermath of volcanic eruptions can symbolize the transformative effects of expressing long-held emotions. Living near volcanoes in dreams might indicate awareness of volatile aspects of self. A fireplace represents contained energy with the potential for warmth. It signifies controlled passion, creativity, or anger that serves a positive purpose. The state of the fire, whether roaring, smoldering, or extinguished, often reflects the vitality of one's inner fire or inspiration. Gathering around fireplaces suggests community and sharing of warmth or ideas. The ability to tend the fire reflects emotional regulation. A stove symbolizes contained energy with the purpose of preparing nourishment. It represents transformative processes that convert raw experience into wisdom or sustenance. Different cooking methods might represent different intellectual approaches. Slow simmering for careful consideration, flash frying for quick insights. The foods being prepared often hold additional symbolic meaning. Bombs symbolize negative energies unleashed at specific targets. They represent focused destructive impulses or the potential for explosive emotional outbursts. The timer on bombs may indicate perceived urgency or deadline pressure. Diffusing bombs in dreams can symbolize efforts to prevent emotional outbursts or destructive behaviors. Candles signify illumination, spiritual awareness, or guidance. The size and number of candles may indicate the strength of insight or inspiration. Candles that won't stay lit might represent frustrated attempts at understanding or maintaining awareness. Birthday candles specifically connect to life passages and wishes. Forest fires represent widespread destruction that ultimately leads to renewal. They may symbolize periods of intense purification or radical life changes that burn away old patterns to make room for new growth. Escaping forest fires often relates to surviving major life transitions. Lightning signifies sudden insight, inspiration, or catalytic change. The intensity and frequency of lightning strikes may correlate to the impact of new ideas or realizations. Being struck by lightning can symbolize profound transformation or awakening. Matches or lighters represent the ability to ignite passion, creativity, or anger at will. The ease or difficulty of starting fires in dreams often relates to one's relationship with motivation and inspiration. Carrying these tools may indicate readiness to spark change. Burning buildings symbolize the destruction of established structures in one's life or psyche. The type of building often indicates what aspect of life is undergoing transformation. Escaping burning buildings suggests successfully navigating major transitions, while being trapped represents fear of change. Ritual fires represent sacred transformation and purification. Bonfires, ceremonial flames, or sacrificial fires symbolize intentional change and spiritual processes. Dancing around fires may symbolize celebration of transformative energy or communion with primal forces. To learn more about me, visit soulhealingtribe.com. See you on the next video.